Sofia. How was school today?
Well, not so good.
Why?
Because today on the playground, some kids asked me to do something that was wrong. All the other kids were doing it. They even dared me to do it.
Oh no, what happened?
They did it and didn't get in trouble. I felt left out, even though I knew it was still wrong.
I'm sorry you had to deal with that, sweetie. You know, it's easy to do what's right when everyone else is doing the same. But doing what is right can be really hard when others are trying to get us to do wrong. They might even try and say that what they're doing really isn't so bad.
I know, it's really hard.
But the big question for you and I is, what does Jehovah say about it? How does he feel about it?
Sometimes I wonder if he even cares.
Well, let's see what he says in his word, the Bible, in Proverbs. That's Proverbs chapter 1. Proverbs 1 verse 10. And we can see what that says here. Let's go ahead. You read that for me.
My son, if sinners try to seduce you, do not consent.
Okay, so see here how it says my son, could say my son or my daughter. Jehovah's talking to us like a loving parent talks to a child. So he does care about us. And see where it says here, seduce, that word means to lure or to tempt. So, or in this word here, consent, it means to allow. So we don't want to allow these people to cause us to do wrong. We want to be on guard to not be lured into the bad ways of people who are doing wrong. No matter what they say, we should never do things that Jehovah says are wrong, even if everyone else is doing it. That reminds me of our family worship study a few months ago about why we shouldn't follow the crowd. Do you remember that?
Yes, we talked about Joshua and Caleb, and I think it was Exodus 23:2.
Yes, it was Exodus 23:2. So let's look that up so that we can refresh our memories. Exodus 23, and that's verse 2. Can you read that?
You must not follow after the crowd for evil ends.
Good, thank you. So see this little asterisk after the crowd? If we look down here at the bottom, it says many. Okay, so when everyone else is doing bad, we should not follow after them. Did Joshua and Caleb follow this warning?
Yes.
Yes, they did. Remember, they were part of a group of 12 men who were sent out to spy out the promised land.
Yes, and 10 of those men gave a very negative report.
And that's true. They even claimed that some of the people who lived there were giants, that they were relatives of the Nephilim, which wasn't true because they had all been wiped out in the flood hundreds of years earlier. But that negative report from those 10 spies spread fear and panic among the people. They thought that they were all going to be killed, so they thought it was a mistake to enter into the promised land. They even wanted to go back to Egypt, even though they had been slaves there. So what did Joshua and Caleb do? Do you remember?
They trusted in Jehovah. They didn't follow after the crowd.
Yes, they didn't follow after the crowd. They stuck to the truth. They told the truth and they stuck to it. They trusted in Jehovah, and they could not imagine hurting him for the sake of following this faithless crowd. They stood firm, and they are a good example for us today, don't you think so? Now, Sophia, when you are tempted again, or when you're asked to do something that Jehovah says is wrong, what are you going to do?
I will not follow the crowd